The real truth is that I believe in the community college mission. Up until the end of World War II, that education belonged to the rich. There were very few average American citizens who were fortunate enough to get higher education. After World War II, that all changed, and it changed when the soldiers coming home said, we want education, we want to get an education. And that's what gave the birth to the community college movement. We, in turn, made it necessary for the four-year institutions to start rethinking what they were doing because we were taking a great number of students from them. I do thoroughly believe in and acknowledge the wonderful changes in higher education in the United States, which came because of community colleges. I think we've changed the culture of this college, or at least we're in the midst of changing it. Like so many schools, we weren't paying as much attention as we should to those first semester freshmen who come in here not knowing anything about what they want to do or anything about higher education. We have made an effort to change the culture. We call it our RISE program, Respect, Integrity, and Support for Everyone. And what we really mean here is not only to look after those students and to make sure that they feel very comfortable with their first academic experience, but we also want to feel that same way about our employees. We had an experience that really touched me greatly. I saw a student in the lobby. I said, "Can I help you?" She said, "Please." And so I took her to my office, and she volunteered, saying, this is the third time I've been here on your campus. And she said the first two times I didn't have enough courage to come into the building, so I left. She said, I probably would have done the same thing if you had not stopped me and brought me in here. But the point I'm trying to make is that we don't want to lose anybody like that. We want to make sure that everybody gets the education that they want. It wasn't until 1990 when the General Assembly allowed us to start offering transfer degrees, which would facilitate someone transferring to a four-year university. Since then, our transfer population has burgeoned. We are right at 50% transfer students who aspire to a university, and the facilities that we use to teach those transfer students have not kept up. We do need a new arts and sciences building here. The one that we have has just about exhausted its usefulness for us, and I regret that I've not been able to get the county commission, which is responsible for our physical plant. I regret that I haven't been able to get them to see that need. We've become what we like to call Beer City, USA. We have a large number of craft breweries here in town. A couple of years ago, a company came into town, and I remember on a Saturday morning going out to meet their visiting team to talk to them about how we, AB Tech, could help them train their employees. We have an entire program that really is funded by the state community college system called Customized Training, where we customize the training for a company that comes into town. What they want is to train their new employees with the skills that are necessary in that profession. And customized training is something that is very unique. What we like to do here is to show those companies that are interested in coming here that we can train your people. And we've got a track record of doing that. July 3rd, 2016, I was leaving campus. I looked off to the left and I saw two fire trucks and an EMS vehicle. I went down there and one of our police officers was there. And he said, there's a student in the restroom and he's dead. And I said, "Oh my word, what happened?" And he said, "It's an opioid thing." He said, we're going to call the parents and the mother and have her come to campus." And I said, "No, I will take care of that. I do not want the police here calling the parents. I'll call her." I did, and I asked her to come to campus, and she came about 20 minutes later, and I had to inform her that Stuart was dead. But I realized then that we needed to do more here on campus. One of the things that we have done is enhanced our counseling for victims of drug abuse. We have a center now that we call the Reset Room, a place where a student can go and seek some counseling. Most of the time we have a counselor in there, but at least that student can talk to other students who are having problems with drugs. We've given to each of our police officers Narcan, which is that drug which can be used to immediately overcome an opioid overdose. And all of our police officers carry that. There's a swath of this state that goes from Charlotte up through the Research Park Triangle that is doing very nicely. But there are an awful lot of schools which, because of the nature of their community, are not doing well. And part of the reason for that is that the number of high school graduates, there's going to be a downturn, and there's going to be more and more schools fighting for a limited number of students. There's been interest in consolidating the community colleges in North Carolina. I don't subscribe to that, and I think that the state would do well to keep the community colleges as available as possible to their students, potential students. But there has been talk for years about consolidation. I hope we don't do that. I hope that we leave the colleges where they are and let them serve their people. And if you force somebody to go from some rural community to drive 50 to 75 miles to get education at an AB Tech, will that person do it? And I'm afraid the answer is no. To be honest with you, one thing really keeps me up at night, and that would be an armed intruder. Someone who could come in and do what has been done at so many other places in our country and at so many other times, and that could happen at any time. There has been at least one killing here in North Carolina at Wayne Community College a couple of years ago. And of course there are other examples that we know of. The one that happened in Oregon a couple of years back. So that's what keeps me awake. AB Tech is going to grow, and I say that I might be surprising some of my own people because we have not necessarily grown in the last 4 to 5 years, but a community college is just that. Its dependence is on the vibrance of the community. But we're in a very fortunate situation here, being in Asheville, North Carolina, which is a place where many, many people, many, many industries want to relocate. So our future is very bright here.